Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Rachel. If this is your first time here, welcome. And if it's not your first time here, thanks for coming back. So today, I'm so excited to be doing two looks with the new NOMAD Okavango Delta palette. I'm going to be giving you some information on the palette, giving you swatches, close-ups, then creating two looks with the palette. I always put timestamps down below in the description box. If you want to skip around, feel free to check out the timestamps. This is my first time filming after coming back from my honeymoon, so I'm so excited to be filming again and to be creating a couple looks with this palette. If you do enjoy this video while you're watching it, please give it a thumbs up. That helps me out a lot, and consider subscribing if you love indie makeup. I was super excited about this palette when I reviewed their last palette, which was the Royal Europe palette. One of the owners actually DM'd me and said, "You're really gonna love our next palette because it's a neutrals with a twist palette." And I was like, sign me up, because that is literally what I love. So I kind of expected a neutralish leaning palette. So NOMAD Cosmetics is an indie brand out of Texas. They are a destination-based brand. So they always theme their palettes and their collections on different destinations around the world that they travel to. I love their products. I really enjoy their eyeshadow formulas. I feel like they tend to mix up their formulas from palette to palette, which I think is really fun. So I'm excited to see what this formula is about. And every time you receive a package from NOMAD, you do get a whole experience opening it up, like unboxing it. They have a postcard included. You actually open it up and there's a sticker on the outside that's themed with the collection. So it's really, really fun. So this is the postcard that came with this collection. I love the shape of the elephant. And then on the back, they give you a little bit of information about the destination, what inspired it, and all of that. And they always, with every collection, they donate to a cause. So this one says, "Welcome to Safari, an experience like no other. We are roaring with excitement to celebrate the magnificent Okavango Delta and her beautiful colors. Enjoy creating your own safari looks that are as majestic as the animals that inspired this palette." And then it's signed by the co-owners Felicia and Auntie. So it is based on the Botswana Okavango Delta in its awe-inspiring animal kingdom. So the color story, it says, "Majestic kingdom, expressive safari-hued colors inspired by Okavango's magnificent creatures, from golden lions and green crocodiles to gray elephants and dark brown buffaloes. 9 majestic mattes, 3 stunning shimmers, and 3 animal print shimmer swirls encased in a soft touch leopard print palette." And they are donating to the Wilderness Wildlife Trust, which helps protect the majestic animals and the communities of the safari. The outside cover looks like this. Absolutely beautiful landscape of the Delta here. And then the actual palette itself this is probably my favorite packaging that NOMAD has done. It is a faux suede touch. Absolutely beautiful texture to the outside. And then on the back, there's a little bit of information. And then on the inside, we have this gorgeous, gorgeous neutrals with a twist. I really love how they've set up this palette. In my opinion, you can really use it by rows. You have a warm tone neutral look row, you have a green leaning row, and then you have more of a neutral / cool toned neutral look on the bottom. So absolutely love that. This is my favorite size of palette from NOMAD. A 15 pan palette. And I love that they've included some different kind of textures in the shimmers, some swirly shades. Now, of course, when you dip your brush in or your finger in and you swirl it around, it becomes one shade. Like, it's not gonna look like different shades on your eyes. Just upon touching these, I haven't used them on my eyes yet, so I'm not gonna go too crazy talking about it, but just upon touching the shades, the mattes feel like the regular, really good, buttery NOMAD formula, and the shimmers feel really nice. They have a few different shimmer formulas that I've experienced, and these feel like that good, traditional, creamy, true metallic shimmer. They're not like that dry toppery type of shimmer that they have, so I'm very excited about that. I love neutrals, I love greens, so I'm so excited to have this. Now on their Instagram, it says it is not limited edition, which is great. If you aren't able to pick it up at launch, it's probably gonna restock, right? Duh. It retails for $42 US. It is launching on Tuesday, May 30th at 12:01 a.m. Eastern time. I did receive this palette in PR, but if they didn't send this to me, I would absolutely have bought it myself. No questions asked. So I will link NOMAD's website down below. Let's do it. I was so excited when I found out that this was being sent to me, but of course I was on my honeymoon when it arrived, and I was kind of sad that I was going to miss posting this like when they announced the color story. And then I remembered, you're on your honeymoon, like it's okay. But I was very excited to come home to this palette. I'm actually gonna stick with the top row today. I wanna create just like a true warm tone neutral look. My next look, I will play with more of these shades on the bottom, but I'm gonna go into the shade Towering Giraffes, this really pretty, you know, sandy brown crease color, which, listen, I love. And I'm gonna use the BK 201 brush, and I'm just gonna sweep this through my crease. I've already primed my eyes with the Urban Decay Primer Potion, by the way. I wanna hear your thoughts on this. Are you a neutral lover like me? Are you excited for this neutral palette? Or are you more of a colorful lover? Let me know your thoughts on this. I would love to know. See, for me, I always love having a transition shade. In fact, I feel like I need one most of the time. That's just how I do my makeup. I'm old school, you know? So I really like having this. It's just maybe 1 or 2 shades darker than my skin tone, so it works out great. I'm gonna use a What's Up Beauty R102 brush, and I'm gonna go into the next shade. I don't know how different in depth these are gonna be. This one just looks a little warmer. This is the shade Elusive Leopards. I like the names, Elusive Leopards. And I'm just gonna place this slightly lower in my crease. So that didn't provide a whole bunch of depth, but it did actually add a little something. So if you are recreating this look, you probably don't have to go in with both. I could have just used one or the other, but I do love a warm tone brown shade, I just do. Next, I'm gonna go in with a What's Up Beauty R109 brush, and I'm gonna go into the shade Pack of Wild Dogs. I also love the embossings that they always do on the pan. So there's like paw prints on the Pack of Wild Dogs shade, so cute. And I'm just gonna place this in my outer V. Yeah, all 3 of those matte shades performed like the usual, really good, really buttery, really blendable NOMAD quality, really nothing bad to say. I mean, they're browns, so it's not like they're like the most difficult shades to work with usually, but really good quality that I can tell, so very nice. I'm gonna pop on the NYX glitter primer all over the lid. Now, the 2 shimmers on the top row, this one is Leaping Definitely didn't pronounce that right. And Roaring Lions. They definitely are 2 different formulas. The leaping one looks almost like has a slight shiftness to it. It's like a gold with a pink kind of reflect. And then the lion is more of that smooth, true gold metallic. Both are beautiful, but different textures. The first one is a little bit more loosely packed into the pan, I guess you could say, and it has a little more reflect. So I think I am gonna go with that one today, right here. And I'm just gonna start with my finger. Oh, it's so pretty. That is just beautiful. Yep, it's definitely got a little bit of a reflect in there without feeling chunky or like overly textured to the point where it looks unflattering or something like that, but really beautiful. Okay, I'm gonna hop off camera. I will be right back and we can finish up the eyes together. Okay, so let's finish up the lower lash line together. I'm basically going to repeat the same mattes that I used. I'm gonna start with Pack of Wild Dogs on a flat definer brush and just push it up against my lower lash line. I'm next gonna go in with the pencil brush into Elusive Leopards and just blend that out. And then I'm gonna go into a really small fluffy brush from Alamar Cosmetics and I'm gonna go into Towering Giraffes and just blend that out. Then I'm gonna pop the Patrick Ta Precision Gel Liner in the shade Cream in the waterline. All right, and this is the finished look number 1. What do you think? I love it. I love a soft, pretty rose gold neutral look, and that is what this is giving me. I think it looks so, so pretty. I feel totally at home in these types of looks. So I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. So like I said, the mattes that I used feel like the great NOMAD quality. They are that in between, not overly pigmented, not hard to work with. I will say the Royal Europe palette, the palette that came out before this, I feel like those mattes were like ultra pigmented, almost to the point where they're a little more pigmented than I prefer, but these ones are really, really easy to use. And then that shimmer that I used has that little reflect without being like chunky or unflattering on my 36-year-old eyelids that are really dry today, you know? So I love that. Yeah, no problems at all. I want to have a little bit of a comparison intermission. When I first looked at this, especially in person, it's giving me the vibe of the Haunted Europe palette by NOMAD. And this is my favorite NOMAD palette. I did do a NOMAD palette ranking not too long ago. I can link down below. Spoiler alert, this came in at #1. But it is discontinued. It's obviously not a dupe. I'm not saying they're the same thing at all whatsoever, but I definitely feel like the vibes are there, where we've got some warm tone neutrals, we've got some greens, we've got some cool tones. So I think it's great that if you missed out on the Haunted Europe, you could get the same vibes in this newer palette, which is not limited edition. So it's gonna be around for a while. So I know a lot of you missed out on Haunted Europe. It is a great palette. There is more in this palette. It is also a bigger palette, but I think that they are giving similar vibes. You know what I'm saying? Does anybody else agree with me? I also wanted to pull out another one of NOMAD's neutral palettes, which is the Hudson Valley palette, another one of my absolute favorites. So I don't really think these are similar. I mean, they have some similar tones, but the Hudson Valley leans a lot more in terms of like the neutral side, very, very warm. So oranges, reds. If you're not like a huge warm tone lover, I think this newer palette would be a better choice for you because yeah, there are a couple of warm tones at the top, but this I think is like 50% warm tone and then 50% cool tone, like dusty greens type of thing. So yeah, there are similarities between these, but I think this Hudson Valley one leans a lot more warm, and this one has more of a variety of warm, cool, neutral, and I love in this one the greens like the chartreuse and the more like limey olive green. So pretty. So if you were thinking about picking up a neutral palette from NOMAD and you're not a huge warm tone lover, this one might be a better option for you. And then also this one has a lot more shimmers than the Hudson Valley, only has 3 shimmers. So that may or may not be in your preference. And then last but not least, I feel this gives me very similar vibes to the new Natasha Denona palette that's coming out, the Yucca palette. So this one is $42. The Natasha Denona one is a midi palette, and I think her midis usually retail for $69. Now, I don't know anything about this Yucca palette. I don't know anything about the formula. So just wanted to kind of show you a little bit of a comparison because I do feel like they're giving similar vibes. Are they the same? Absolutely not. But I do love this like neutral with a green pop thing that's happening lately. I am not mad at it at all whatsoever. Okay, so that's all I had to say about that. Take one last look at look #1, and now I'm gonna send you off to look #2. Okay, I'm back for look #2, and I wanna use the bottom 2 rows today. I want to do something a little more dramatic because who doesn't love a smoky eye at 8:16 in the morning? I really want to use this like olive lime green called Vumbura Plains. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. I'm just going to place this in the inner part of my crease. I've already primed my eyes with the Urban Decay Primer Potion, by the way. I'm going to go in with this like pukey, like greeny brown. Oh, love a color like that. It's called Moremi Game Reserve. And I'm gonna put this in the rest of my crease. Nothing gets me going like a color like this. My eyes are extra puffy this morning, so I'm not gonna have as much lid space as usual. This will be interesting. I'm gonna go in with this brown shade called Crash of Rhinos, and I'm just gonna place this in my outer crease a little bit lower. I'm gonna go in the outer V with Honking Hippos. I love the names. I'm gonna go in with the shade Chief's Island, this like grass green, and I'm gonna concentrate it a little more deeper in my crease in the inner part of my eye. I'm going to put the NYX Glitter Primer all over the lid. Now I will say this Migrating Zebras shimmer looks so pretty. I don't think I want to use it in today's look, but look at that beautiful silver. I love a good silver metallic. That is gorgeous. I don't want to use it today. I do want to create another look at some point with just using this lower row, but I think I want to go with one of these two. Which one? Keystone Termites, which is a really pretty like greenish bronzy color, and then Nile Crocodiles, ooh, which is like a yellowy green. Maybe I can use both. So I'm gonna start with Keystone Termites. I'm gonna put that more in the outer part of my lid. That's really pretty. It's got a really pretty like greenish gold reflect. And then I'm gonna go into Nile Crocodiles and put that all over the rest of the lid. Beautiful. Okay, I'm back. Let's finish up the lower lash line together. I will say one thing about this palette that is a downside for me. It's not the end of the world. There is no real like inner corner highlight for me, for my skin tone, which is totally fine. I can reach into the hundreds of other palettes I have to find one, but I just wanted to let you know about that. By the way, everything else that's on my face in both looks, I will link down in the description box below as usual. So I'm gonna take a little flat definer brush. I'm gonna go in with the shade Rumbling Elephants. This like, it's not quite black, but it's a very dark, cool toned brown. And I'm actually gonna spray the brush and push this up against my lower lash line. Next, I wanna go in with Chief's Island, this grassy green, and just blend that out. And then I'm gonna go in with Moremi Game Reserve and just blend that out. All right, and this is finished look number 2. What do you think? Listen, I love green, so I love this look. And this is green without being over the top colorful. It still has kind of a neutral element to it, so I love it. When I went off camera, I put the About Face Line Artist Longwear Gel Eyeliner in the shade Electric Slide in my waterline. Like I've mentioned before, I don't know how much I love these About Face liners. I prefer the ColourPop ones, but I thought it went with the look. And for my inner corner, like I said, on its own, this palette doesn't really give me what I'm looking for an inner corner highlight, but what I did do is I took a matte white from one of my Blend Bunny palettes, I packed that in the inner corner, and then I just tippy tapped this Lime Vumbura Plains shade on top just to give it a little more of a like pastel greenish hue. And I think it worked out nicely. So yeah, let me give you my first and second impression thoughts. This is not a review. I have to continue using this palette to get my full thoughts on it. I always do a palette ranking video every 4 to 6 weeks where I give you my final reviews, kind of speed review style, in a ranking style about the palettes that I'm testing. But I did use most of the shades in here, just a couple of the shimmers I didn't use yet, but from what I've used, this is a great quality palette. The mattes are that good, buttery, not overly pigmented, but not sheer, easy to work with formula that I expect from NOMAD. Like I did say earlier, these are less pigmented than the Royal Europe palette, which I prefer. Like, I don't love when a shadow is so pigmented that it's hard to blend out. These, no issues. They did give me a little bit of fallout, but I always do my eyes first, so it didn't bother me, but just wanted to let you know. The shimmers that I used are the formula that I love the most, which is like a smooth yet sparkly metallic that is pretty opaque, not overly opaque that it looks textured or weird on my eyelids, but they're not that dry, toppery feeling. They do feel creamy, especially with a glitter primer underneath. You're really gonna get some good impact. No issues at all. I love the packaging. Like I said, this is my favorite packaging. It's just such a nice touch, literally touch. And I love the color story. I mean, this would be in my top 3 Nomad palettes that I've tried so far, just based on the color story alone. Like, I'm gonna reach for these shades a lot. So I hope this helped you out, gave you some inspiration. Are you gonna pick this palette up? I don't have an affiliate code with Nomad, but I know a lot of creators do, so go ahead and seek out an affiliate code if you wanna save some money. Like I said, this does launch on Tuesday, May 30th at 12:01 a.m. Eastern time. I wanna hear your thoughts down below. Let me know your thoughts about this palette, and let me know your thoughts about my looks. I always love hearing from you. And if you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. That helps me out a lot when you do that. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, I would love it if you would consider subscribing before you leave. I do upload videos weekly, and I would love to see you back on my channel again. I want to thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.